Adam, guten Tag.
I don't know a lick of German,
Guten
but
Tag.
I know why you said that.
Ein Prosit. Oktoberfest, yeah?
Yeah, I actually did a toast at Oktoberfest, and instead of saying Prost, I said toast. And a
Oh,
bunch of people are like, no, and I'm wearing lederhosen, and everyone's drindles and everything. So we did our big Oktoberfest in Charleston last week. We had like 350 people there. We're
wow.
doing a big old one in Myrtle Beach this week. We'll have probably another 300 people there. And then we're doing one at the end of the month down in Savannah Hilton Head, where we haven't been as busy down there for as long. So probably, I don't know, 150, 200 people down there as well.
Oh, wow.
Um, and it's a surreal experience for me to have done these things for the last 10 plus years and just see the crowd grow. Um, the first client event I ever did, like, I went to Publix and bought 5 or 6 packages of bratwursts and was cooking them myself, and
Oh,
that was a disaster. Um, so to walk into a room now where I don't even know all the people in the room because, I'm no longer the main advisor doing all the planning at the planning table anymore. Um, but to still see some familiar faces that were at that very first client event where it was me, my wife, and my dog, and Adam working the
yes.
grill.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a bizarre, incredibly humbling experience for me. So all these individuals were coming up to me and they were like, Adam, like, this is crazy. You rented the whole restaurant out. There's people everywhere. What's the vision? Like, what's the goal? Like, do you have a number in your head? And a couple things to unpack there. One, I think anytime we do something nice for our clients, there's a small percentage of the clients that almost backfires on. They're like, "Oh, you must be making a lot of money off of me. Otherwise, you wouldn't get me a beer and a pretzel," you
Oh,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that bugs me because it's like, you're right. We're actually making money off of you. But your bank and your mortgage provider and your HVAC guy and all of these other services that you have in your life don't even send you a birthday card. We are old fashioned. We're of the thought if you put a little faith and trust in our company, we should carve out a small percentage of our firm's revenue to give back to you. Right now, how do we give back to you? Well, one way we give back to you is we take a large chunk of our revenue and we hire really smart people and we pour into them and we train them and we try to make our client experience excellent. But every now and again, we're like, hey, why don't you come to this little hootenanny and we'll feed you and give you a beer, and it'd be a good opportunity for you to meet the new people on our team. It'd be a great opportunity for you to maybe make a friend with a like-minded individual who also works with our firm. So for all those people that are poo-pooing the event, period, like, don't come. You don't have to come. We do this as a matter of like, hey, we are old fashioned in that we think that pressing the flesh and delighting our clients, not only with our service offering, but also with these little foo foo things, is meaningful. So that's why we do them. Now, second part of what I just unpacked was, what's the goal? What's the number? One of my oldest clients came up to me and was like, Adam, this is crazy, man. Like, this is a huge event. What's the number? And I can't help but think of the old John D. Rockefeller quote, how much money is enough? Just a little bit more, right? But anyway, so I tried to answer him very quickly, but I want to answer him maybe in a longer way here. So every goal I ever put on a piece of paper or even cooked up in my mind's eye as to what I might accomplish in the kitchen table financial services business, um, personally, professionally, as a firm, every single goal I've ever written down, we've achieved. And I say that not as a flex. I say that purely as, one, write your goals down. It's a funny thing if you write them down, you go about creating them. The other thing I've learned, if I say things out loud, oh, I better back it up because I'm like old fashioned in that my word is my bond. If I say it now, I'm not going to like try to wiggle my way out of it. So I'm going to say some things on this radio show today that like, oh crap. Hopefully my wife doesn't hear it because she's like, now you got to do it. I know how you are, Adam. You'll stay up all night long and we're going to do that. And I don't know if we want to do that. We got 4 kids, 7 and under, and I kind of like our cushy life. But everything that I've ever set out to accomplish in this business, we were able to achieve. And it's a surreal moment because I remember there once was a goal of like managing $100 million. Like that's a big one in my line of work. I want to manage $100 billion, or excuse me, $100 million, not $100 billion. 100 billion is the new goal for a lot of people. $100 million, that was like a big deal, right? And gosh, it took me 9 years to get there. 5 years later, we're literally onboarding and gathering 300 million in a year, right? So
Wow.
it's like, how do I say this without like bragging? Because it sounds like we're bragging, but it's just a testament to the team we built. It's a testament to the trust that clients are putting in us at this season of the firm. So I don't know what the big number, they call it the big, hairy, audacious goal, the BHAG. I don't have a BHAG anymore, right? I live in the house of my dreams. I've accomplished more in this business than I ever thought humanly possible. All I can say is what brings me joy now, like what ultimately gets me going, is seeing people I hire develop and grow and become bigger than what they were when they first came in contact with the company, right? So to see someone who comes in here and doesn't know the difference between an IRA and non-qualified money, and then I see them grow and develop into an excellent paperwork processor, and then they grow into a person who helps with the planning process, and then they become like a service support advisor, and then they become an advisor at the planning table, giving people wonderful advice that's going to have a massive impact on their family and their kids and their children's lives. Like that's the good stuff, as we call it internally. That's the good stuff. Seeing someone go from answering the phone to becoming an incredible digital marketer, or getting really, really good at dissecting data to see patterns to run the business a hair better, like, or moving from the marketing department into the portfolio management department, where they get really good at walking clients through the onboarding process. Seeing someone go from working in the portfolio management department to then becoming a prolific trader, making a number of trades that no one else in South Carolina is even coming close to. So seeing a financial advisor who comes to us and it didn't work in different systems, right? They went to XYZ company and ABC company, and they loved this business. They loved helping people, but they weren't having a big impact because that model asks them to like knock on their neighbors' doors and bother their friends and relatives to sell them life insurance. And they had this thirst to like, I want to help people. I love the capital markets. I love helping people with their money, but I can't do it in this format. And then they come and work for us, and we see them, having a massive impact on the community. Like that's the good stuff. That's what I get excited for now. That's what I like to see. Then the other thing, you'll see internal emails inside our office. Every single visit that gets conducted in our office, I read the dictation, right? So right when an advisor leaves a visit, every now and again, some of them forget to do it, and then we have to like punch them in the arm. But when they leave a visit, they dictate everything that went down, including, hey, these are the action items. These are the things I need portfolio management to do. Hey, marketing, their dog just passed away. Send them some wind chimes. Like, so for all the clients listening to this, we're like, wow, you guys are really thoughtful. Like, we're thoughtful by design, right? We do these things, one, because we listen to what you said. We're going to make suitable adjustments and have follow-up action items according to those things. But every single one of those mobile assistants, I'll read. right? So a lot of times people are like, Adam, I'm not working with you. Am I going to get a good planning experience? All of our financial planning work gets blessed by me, right? I'm going to look at it. I'm going to make sure no one leaves the reservation. I'm going to see the trade request. I'm going to make sure nothing, I wouldn't want have done to my very own is going to get done to any of the individuals that come in contact with our company. So seeing team members grow, develop, change their professional trajectory, that's awesome to me. Number two, seeing retirees live abundant, checking items off the bucket list, taking the trip to Europe, buying a townhouse near the grandbabies, helping the grandkids get through college, buying a classic car, like redoing their bathroom, doing big things like that. It's hard to articulate without coming across as corny or inauthentic. I genuinely wake up and get really, really excited when I see retirees do this stuff. So this gentleman goes, well, what's the goal? Like, what are you trying to do? And I said, so long as the work doesn't suffer, so long as the clients continue to be delighted, so long as the employees continue to develop and grow, I'm just going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. Now, all that under a couple different circumstances here. It seems like the new business model for people like me is to open up branch offices in large cities many, many, many miles away from their home, right? So, I'm going to open an office in Charlotte, I'm going to open an office in Atlanta, and I'm going to open an office in Raleigh. And I don't like getting on airplanes, so no way. And I've got a rule with our advisors that if I'm unwilling to do it, I will never ask someone else to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the problem for our advisors. I'm willing to literally do the Shawshank Redemption crawl through the crap plumbing. So that's not a good thing for our advisors. Like, I'm willing to do some pretty heinous, hardworking things, but I am unwilling to get on an airplane to go visit with clients. I'm ready, willing, and able to drive 2.5 hours up to our Myrtle Beach office. I'm ready, willing, and able to drive 2.5 hours to our Bluffton office to go sit with people all day long and then drive 2.5 hours back. In fact, I find joy in it. I listen to audiobooks and podcasts and call my friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have no interest in growing into these different markets, but what I do have interest in doing is absolutely dominating coastal South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia. And I could see over time us moving possibly to like Wilmington because it just makes sense. We considered opening up an office in Columbia and Greenville because we had a girl here in our office who I thought would do a good job of running those offices, but she had, other things going on in life where she couldn't do that. So I can see us kind of spreading around South Carolina, but I have no interest in opening something in Charlotte or Atlanta or Chicago or something like that. I'm just not, doesn't bring me any joy. It doesn't get me excited. Yeah, because remember, the other thing is I don't like flying. I really like being a good dad.
Oh, yeah.
I really like tucking my kids in every single night of the week. I can count on my hand how many bedtimes I've missed over the last 5 years.
What? That's amazing.
And I have traveled, excuse me. I've traveled a couple times, but outside of travel, because Claire and I, make sure we go on a little honeymoon thing at least once or twice a year.
Yeah.
I miss bedtimes actually there, but who's putting them in bed? Grandma and grandpa, loading them up with sugar and
trying to get him to sleep.
They love the kids more than me. So I don't want to miss bedtime, man. I want to coach soccer. Ben's got a travel baseball game today. I ain't missing that. I don't care if you come in here with $100 million and you tell me to jump and bang drums like a monkey to win your $100 million. Take it and go someplace else. I'm seeing my kid play baseball. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's the rule with all of our people. Family, right? God, family, country. God, family, country. If our planning process, in my opinion, is having a profoundly positive impact on my neighbors, why wouldn't I get on the largest mountaintop and scream with the loudest megaphone, hey, you should come plan with us? And now, naturally, you have some people who long for the good old days. Some people are like, I miss it when it was you, your wife, and your dog. And I don't want all these other people. They want to close the door behind them, right? And that's fine. I get it. I feel that way sometimes too. If I see the work suffering, I'll shut the door and not let anyone else in. But I'm not seeing that right now. I think we're developing really, really smart people who are actually elevating our work. Our work is getting better. And another thing I said is every goal I ever set out to do has already been achieved. We've already achieved every goal that I ever cooked up in my mind's eye. So now what? Well, now you just continue to have a big impact. You continue to hire people and develop them and grow them and change their professional trajectory. You give retirees who put a little faith and trust in your company confidence to spend money. So they're not the wealthiest person in the cemetery. Confidence to spend their money, to check items off the bucket list. Not a week goes by that I don't have an email in her office where I go, that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. The good stuff is when someone goes to play golf in Scotland for 2 weeks and brings their whole family along with them. The good stuff is when someone finances the Disney cruise with their grandkids and then sends us a picture. Heck, the good stuff could be I bought some plastic crap that I enjoy. Like it's like when people spend their money and they feel good about spending their money with no guilt, like that is the good stuff. So, what are some of the things that are on my list now? I won't even call them a dream board, because a dream board almost insinuates like, boy, one day if I fall asleep and take an Ambien, this might happen while I'm asleep. Like, no, we go about accomplishing our dreams. Like, this is just my birthright at this point. These are things we're gonna do, and the reason we're gonna do them. We're opening up an office in Somerville. Now, why are we doing that? Because we help a ton of people in Somerville. And I had a travel baseball game up there a few weeks ago, and I'm driving home, and I'm like, man, I don't remember this drive being this long. And, oh, by the way, we lost a client. A client was like, hey, Adam, I actually really like you. I like your office. I like your people, but I ain't getting any younger. And driving 45 minutes down 26 to come see you on Daniel Island just doesn't work for me anymore. And I was like, okay, I get it. Like, go work with someone else, but nonetheless, we lose one client. It breaks my darn heart.
Yeah.
So we're opening up a Somerville office because we help a ton of people up there, and we know people aren't getting any younger, and we want to be as convenient and as available to the individuals up there as possible. So we're going to open up an office up there. My guess is we're already shopping for real estate. We'll probably have a satellite office spun up here in the next week that, won't be much. It'll just be basically like a TV and a conference room, but enough to get your financial planning needs met. And of course, if you want to go to the big, beautiful brick building with all the team members in it, jump on 26 and come to Daniel Island. But it'll be a convenient space that you can visit with an advisor to look at your money and alter your plan if need be. So we just signed a lease I wanted to buy, but the lady wouldn't sell. I'm just going to keep chipping away at her. We buy all of our real estate, by the way, for whatever
she wanted
that's
to just rent it to you.
She wanted to rent it. Yeah. So we signed a lease down in Bluffton. We were working out of a little conference room with a big TV. We now have a couple thousand square feet, and we've got a team member who's going to be moving down there running that office. Myrtle Beach, actually, we put another team member up there. We're probably going to put an advisor up there in Myrtle Beach, because right now our advisors actually travel from Charleston to go to the Myrtle Beach office, and most advisors are expected to go to Myrtle Beach one day a week. And then we have an advisors going down to the Bluffton office, but we'll actually have an advisor in Bluffton. We'll probably put an advisor in Somerville. So all these little satellite offices will be fully staffed with team members. So our tax team has doubled in size because of the demand out there. This is, I think, a game-changing thing. We went through our first tax season screaming reviews, and honestly, like, screaming being good reviews. Honestly, I've bore witness to like a really, really cool experience for our clients. Like, they get to have their taxes done an arm's length away from the financial planning tables. I bet you if the IRS had like a heat map of areas where people are paying less in taxes, the alarm would be sounded for Charleston and Myrtle Beach and Bluffton right now, because they're like, whoa, these people aren't paying as much in taxes anymore. What's happening down here? Because our little financial planning company's having an impact like that. So I'm going to leave you all with one little nugget of wisdom as a small business owner. And you all know this already, but it bears repeating. Uh, I've gotten hyper selective as to which team members we let on the bus. Now, the reason I probably was less selective back in the day was because, like, I was just like, you got a pulse and, like, can you string a couple sentences together? Come on board, I'll pay you. But now we've got a large enough team where I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to put someone in here who's toxic. I don't want to put someone in here who, like, slacker or something like that. But a lot of young people come and interview with us, and it's like, what you gonna do for me, right? And no doubt, I do look at part of my job as I need to open up opportunities for these people to grow, right? And I think my job is to show career advancement. But here's the thing I think a lot of people miss, and I think you should employ your children and your grandchildren with this lesson. They gotta want it more than me, right? Because I want it a real lot. Like, I want growth. I want to see people develop. I want to see people reach their full potential. I want it a really, really lot. Like, to the point where, sure, I'm going to tuck my kids in every night, but right after I tuck my kids in at night, I'm listening to a podcast on running a financial planning company. I'm reading tax code. I'm studying for advanced degrees. I am seeping myself in this business. So you got to want it even more than me. You got to want it 51%. I'll give you 49. And that's what we should be telling children and grandchildren and young people who are setting off on their career. Like, look, your company is going to pay you. They're going to provide benefits. If you do good work, you can advance and you could climb the corporate ladder and your career will change and good things will happen. We also need to tell young people, put your family first. Put your family first. Put your family first. But if you're going to spend 40 hours a week at work, you might as well be freaking excellent at it. You might as well be really good. You might as well be striving to do more and create more and better the individuals that you get to help's lives. So, one last message is, if you're trying to climb the corporate ladder, if you're trying to advance your professional station in life, you got to want it more than your employer. You got to put 51% in, but you also should demand your employer to put 49 in, right? You shouldn't work at a company that's not growing, not innovating, not challenging you, not trying to improve.